All right, welcome back, guys. This is your boy Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Hope everyone's doing well and that you're always collecting. Okay, so we're gonna revisit an old topic. I had done a video like this probably 7 or 8 years ago, and the market has certainly changed in that 7 to 8 years. That this certainly warrants an update video. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look yet again for the second time, the top 10 most valuable 1960s Lincoln cents in today's market. Now, we're going to focus on high-graded examples. These are going to be the coins that if you're able to find and identify a really clean, well-struck example that doesn't have a whole bunch of nicks and little bag marks and all sorts of great stuff, no carbon spotting, that you might have one of these. 1960s is notorious for being some of the worst produced coins in the last 100 years. All right. And keep that in mind. We're also competing against some stiff competition. 1920s Lincoln cents, guys, I would say they probably have the front running date range currently. 1960s is right up there. And you can look at some of the other denominations of coins, like nickels were absolutely abysmal in 1960s, and that's the big reason why that even some of those coins, I might actually do a two-part video here, guys, doing one on nickels in the near future. But those particular coins, ladies and gentlemen, are really tough. They're tough to find the top grade, and by the time we're all done taking a look at every single coin, by the way, we have 10 plus 1. You know me as Mr. Honorable Mention, so we're going to throw an extra in there. But by the time we're all said and done, you guys will completely 100% understand why these coins are worth how much they are. A few little things to kind of keep in mind, get out of the way, the fine print, so to speak, for a video like this. If you absolutely can positively avoid it, I would probably stay away from grading these modern coins, period. In the real world, in order to attain any one specific grade that we're going to highlight today, more than likely you're going to have to send dozens of one specific date to a grading company. PCGS is going to be that grading company because registry set collectors covet those particular holders and they're willing to shell out some serious bucks for anything in PCGS plastic. But I caution and I warn each and every single one of you, this is not something you should tread lightly. You're going to end up spending a lot of money with no guaranteed results. So as we move forward, I just want you guys to realize that these are real world values. Every single sale is from Great Collections because they have been the marketplace that sells a lot of these high-end coins. And that couldn't be any more important today in 2023. All right, so let's go ahead and descending order. We do have that honorable mention coin. So we got 1960s coins, but 1959 is a one-shot year. It's the first year of the Lincoln Memorial back, so we might as well throw in one of the coins into the mix. 1959D, for whatever reason, is a much tougher coin to grade at the highest level than its Philadelphia cousin. And this particular coin right here, and this is going to be kind of like some of the information I'm going to provide to you. The top grade for 59D is Mid-State 68 Red. That is such a high grade for a coin like this. At 68 Red, it's a Pop 1, which means there's only one graded at that example. You can even call it finest known, only one in existence. You name it. They all mean the same thing. It's a unique piece because there's only one. PCGS has a price guide value of $9,000 on a Mid-State 68 Red. And that price has gone up here in the last 30 days. It actually has a green up arrow if you were to go into PCGS's website. But as far as sales are concerned, check this out. This is probably the wildest and most craziest sale in terms of that difference between the PCGS price guide value and what it actually sold for. So, fortunately, that one single finest example did make it out into the marketplace on Great Collections. It was on September 25th, 2022, and it sold for $19,202.62. $10,000 more than what the PCGS price guide value is. Now, I will caution you guys, they're not all winners like the 59D that you see here. It's just, it's the single finest. And any respectable registry set of Lincoln sets that takes it seriously, they're going to go into some pretty maddening bidding wars with anyone else in the registry set system that wants that same coin. And when there's only one available, the gloves are off. So, yeah, pretty, that was the most insane difference in value between price guide value and what it actually sold for. But alas, it was the only, I think it's the only one actually that overachieved the price guide value. All right, and then there's your coin right there, Mid-State 68 Red. That is the single finest coin in its respective PCGS plastic tomb. All right, so this is number 10. Number 10, 1961 Lincoln Memorial set is a pretty tough date. Not as tough as the Denvers that you find during this decade, because they kind of did a 180 here. Usually in today's standards, Philadelphia's are not as well struck. The Denvers are. We've always associated the Denver Mint with being the best quality mint out of the two that does business strikes. So finest grade here, Mid-State 67 plus full red. It's a pop 4, which means there are none finer. Only 4 graded at this level. One Mid-State 67 red plus, or 67 plus red, did enter the market. And that was on November 29th, 2020, to the tune of $4,612.50. The price guide value is $8,250. So we went kind of like back the other way compared to the 59D. It actually almost cut in half. So there you go. There is a pretty definitive difference between price guide value and what the real world market value is. That's why I don't take seriously any printed or visual price guide at all. It's good for baselines, but when the baseline is $4,000 off, kind of hard to take seriously. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. And there's your 67 plus red in the PCGS plastic tomb. All right, the next one is number 9. We have a 1969D. This coin was never sniffing the top 10 list 8 years ago. Now it enters in at number 9, so things have changed a little bit. Mid-State 67 plus full red is the top grade, at which only 2 examples were graded at that level. Great Collections sold one January 26th, 2020 to the tune of $6,474.38, and it was indeed a Mid-State 67 plus red, so a fine grade, or the finest grade that you could realize. PCGS price guide value is $8,000, so it sold for a little bit less than that. Not as obvious as the previous coin, but you could see even still quite a ways away from hitting what a price guide value would look like. All right, and there's your coin there for you in the plastic holder as a 67 plus red. All right, the next one that we have here is a 1960. This is the large date variant. All right, so as a large date, it's got the taller tail of the top of the 6, a larger 0. And this one right here, Mid-State 67 plus full red, is the high-end grade here. It's the top one, in which only 1 example graded at that level. And I'm happy to say that one finest graded example did hit the marketplace. Great Collection sold this one August 16, 2020 for $4,336.88. Here is the big difference maker. The price guide value is $8,750. Almost half. As a matter of fact, it is half, for crying out loud. And PCGS also denotes that their price guide value had gone up in the last 30 days. So there's a green up arrow for this particular one. I don't see how that could be, considering that the finest grade example sold for half as much as what the price guide value is. So obviously they need a little work to fine tune and tweak that, because the $4,000 price difference doesn't really jive at all with the market. There you go. It says large date on the label as well on the 67 plus red. The number 7 coin on the list. Wow, it's got a little bit of toning on there. Very attractive coin. 62D has always been a very difficult coin. All right, this is a top 10 kind of toughest 1960s dated Lincoln 8 years ago and today, and that hasn't changed. This particular example, the finest grade is 67 plus red, in which there is only one example graded at that level. So the finest one did end up selling on Great Collections, the one lone example, February 18th, 2018. So it's been 5 years. And that one ended up selling for $4,389.75. I believe that was the last ever public sale of this 67 plus. Price guide value is $8,750. Now, we do have to take into account, and we shouldn't dismiss the fact that this one sold 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, before the numismatics market boomed again. So this could very well be worth more than the $4,400 it's sold for. There is your label and your coin with a little bit of toning on there, 67 plus red, the one single finest specimen known today. Next one that we have here, 1963. This date is tough all around in both P and D mints. This one is a pretty decently clean example. Mid-State 67 plus full red is the top grade for this piece. Only 2 graded at that particular level. So quite tough one here for sure. Great Collections ended up selling a Mid-State 67 plus. So one of the finest graded examples on November 13, 2022. So a relatively recent sale by all accounts. Sold for $4,730.62. However, PCGS has a price guide value of $9,000 on this one. So, yeah, quite a big difference there. There's your coin that's sold on Great Collections in a Mid-State 67 plus red. Very beautiful looking piece, even in this plastic. All right, we are now officially through halfway of the coins on the list. 1969S is the next one here. These are generally found, if you find them really nice, I mean, they're generally very well struck. Mid-State 68 red is the top end grade for this coin, realized, and it's a pop 4, which means there are 4 examples that graded at a 68 red. Great Collections ended up selling a 67. None of the 68s have hit the market yet. All right, maybe one day. But let's go ahead and talk about the Mid-State 67, which is the highest graded example that I had found online, and Great Collections is it. That one sold July 31st, 2022. And it's cool because there's a little bit of a safety net on a few of these coins in today's market. It used to be that wasn't the case. It's either you hit the top grade or you get nothing at all. So this one right here ended up selling for $900. Keep in mind, it's not the top grade. PCGS has a price guide value of a cool $10,000. And that's with a green up arrow. So this one had gone up in value in a Mid-State 68 red. And that's with a pop 4, by the way. So there's a number of examples out in the market. There you go, Mid-State 67 red. Still not a bad coin, but, you know, $900 was the sale price on this one. Still kind of risky to retain a coin like this. That will just go down over time as more examples are found in either plus or 68. Our number 4 coin out of the 60s comes a 1961D, much like the 62D. This is just one of the tough ones here. Mid-State 67 plus red was the top grade, realized at a pop 3. So there are 3 graded in this particular numerical grade. Great Collections ended up selling one of the 67 pluses on February 19, 2023, a few short months ago, to the tune of $4,674.38. PCGS has a price guide value of $10,000. probably one of the more egregious spreads between price guide value and an actual real world sale. So kind of crazy. Again, when in doubt, eat more sauerkraut. I don't know what that means, but it sounded good, but for the time being. But there you go. That's your coin there. Your top graded 67 plus that's sold in February. All right, top 3 time. We got a 1960, another one. This time the small date variant. All right, shorter tailed 6. Always a good one to have. It's a necessity for every Lincoln Cent collection. You need this as a completionist. It's a requirement. Finest grade, Mid-State 67 plus full red, in which only 3 were graded at that level. Great Collections ended up selling one of the 3 67 pluses on October 30th, 2022, so about 6 months ago. And that one sold for $6,468.75. PCGS has a price guide value of $10,500. So we're coming up here on a little bit of a peak. The last 2 coins are the most valuable at their highest grade. There is our 1960 small date in some PCGS plastic. And here's number 2. Of course, it's got to be that 1964, right? At one point, Heritage Auctions sold, at the time, a top flight Mid-State 67 red of this coin for over $8,000. Today, you would need a 67 plus to be taken seriously for a P-minted 64. It's a Pop 2, which means there are only 2 that graded at a plus designation. Now, here's kind of the issue. None of the pluses have made it out into the market. So we have to look at just a regular 67. And one did sell on Great Collections July 8th, 2018. So again, pre-pandemic, could be an aberration here, but now that we have plus designated coins, that's certainly going to change. That one ended up selling for $4,331.25. And that's for a 67. PCGS has a price guide value of $13,500. But I have a feeling that a 67 plus is probably going to be worth just shy of that amount. Probably more like $10,000. So that's the number 2 coin. Will you guys have any bets on what the final coin, the number 1 coin on the list is going to be? I mean, could there be any doubt whatsoever? The 63D. And even myself, I've been looking for these. The best grade I've managed through all of this is one of the 40 some odd pieces in 66 plus. At the time, it was a huge win for me. I ended up selling it for $1,300 off the market, off the grid, to a collector, and they are completely happy with it. Don't know if they're worth that much anymore because that was like 7 years ago, back when I was experimenting with these things. But 63D has long been that coin where 67s never even existed up until about 6 years ago. All right, when the first 67 made it. 67 is the top grade, by the way. No pluses, no 68s. Tough one here. Pop 4. So there have been 4 examples in the last 5-6 years that have hit a Mid-State 67 red. So Great Collections sold one September 30th of 2018, pre-pandemic. That was a 67. Sold for $14,625. PCGS has a price guide value of $14,500. So it beat that out by $100 or so. Kind of interesting. How much would these go for today? This is anybody's guess. There are 4 of them, of course, and there's bound to be another high-power Lincoln Cent registry set that needs a 63D, and you bet your bottom dollar there's going to be a lot of bidding activity on that. So there you go, guys. That is the top 10 plus 1 list of 1960s Lincoln Cents in today's market. That's how much they're realizing. Again, pretty big difference between price guide value and actual real world value. Make sure you use your own judgment if you're going to grade these, that you hone up a little bit on your grading acumen. Make sure you got it all polished and buttoned down, and you might have a shot at one of these. So that's it. That's all I got to talk about in this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you guys again for tuning in this video. It was exciting. And we're surely going to do more of these again as we kind of recap and update you guys on some of the gnarliest, biggest, most expensive decades in some of our modern coinage. So stay tuned for that. But that's going to go ahead and do it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Keep on collecting. And I'll see you guys next time.